Okay, let's start. Your name and where you live.
My name is Mark House, and I'm from Mustang, Oklahoma.
How did you become interested in Bill Greason, and how did you track down Reverend Greason?
Well, I am an amateur memorabilia collector. I'll go to garage sales or antique sales and anything sports related I'm interested in. I grew up playing baseball and football and basketball and just enjoy following different sports and different things. So it was through memorabilia I found three old caps at an antique sale and just wanted to find out, where those caps came from. The lady that I bought them from said the Oklahoma City Indians, they're old Oklahoma City Indians caps. Didn't know what that was. Born in '62, the '89ers were the team I recognized, and history started when I was born. So, kind of got excited to find out there was something before that. So it was new to me. Even though it's old, it's new to me, and started researching the caps. Found they come from the late '40s and early '50s. So within my search on the internet, I found Reverend Greason in a photo. It was an article published by the Daily Oklahoman and written by Barry Trammell. And it mentioned he had played for the Indians and that he broke the color barrier in 1952. And so I started calculating up 1952 to 2012. That's 50 years. And I'm going, well, no, wait a minute, that's 60 years. And so my math is good, but sometimes not good counting decades on your fingers and stuff. But just a little humor there, but that's actually true. I counted 50 first. But, determined now this was 60 years ago and continued to research it. Found an article in '98 that was written by Bob Hersom of the Oklahoman. And there was sort of an open opportunity for someone that, this is the Reverend, this is what he did. And he would love to come back to Oklahoma City. And, it's kind of sad to learn that nothing had ever happened from that point. So just give it some thought. I called the church that it said within the '07 article, that said he was a reverend at Bethel Baptist Church. So I called the church, and I just had interest to find out, the article did not speak of him in past tense. And so it's like, well, I'm going to find out, I want to call, and I'd like to visit with this guy. So I called the church and I asked for, Reverend Greason, is he in? And they said, well, no, he's not here. And I was trying to figure out in my mind, well, do I ask, is he still alive? And before I figured anything out, she said, we'll be glad to give you his home number. So, my heart started racing a little bit then because my mind had put together, this is an historical thing. And now I found this guy alive, and now I get to call him and, just chat with him a little bit. And so I did call him. And so I think the first time I visited with him, he was kind of scratching his head down there wondering what, some strange guy from Oklahoma was calling, wanting to know stuff about a long time ago. And so we had a couple of conversations after that, and, and he hadn't thought about it. And when I told him, Reverend, this is 60 years ago, and this is a big event. You've never been invited back, and I told him I felt like, for whatever reason, the Spirit would move within me to say, hey, this man needs to be recognized for what he did, and I would like people to know who he is. And being that he's 87 years old and still able to travel, and you can tell that he speaks very well, a very sharp mind. And he's just a human treasure to me, so I'm all excited. And, and this was back in April. And so it's been a few months that it's taken to, get people to realize who he is and that he's worth bringing back and worth inviting back. And so now we're kind of culminating to a point of a big night at the Bricktown. He's going to throw out a first pitch, and he's received media coverage, and now everybody, I think, pretty well knows who he is and what he's done, and that's, he broke the color barrier. But beyond that, I found a hero in a sense that, he's a military veteran. He's been honored with the Congressional Gold Medal of Honor for his service in the Marines. He's been a minister and serving his community in Birmingham a long time. So, there's more intrigue than just a baseball player, and, it's very historical that he broke our color barrier. And I appreciate what he did back then. And I think I can understand what he went through as he's described it to me. And, just to bring him back, and let him know that our society has changed here and that he's welcome here with open arms and with love. And I think everyone that he's talked to during the few days that he's been here, I mean, he's become an icon again. And he's just such a magnetic personality that people have been drawn to him and want to know about him, about his life. And then I can just see a magnetism of friendship that develops with everyone that he's spoken to while he's back up here.
How's he been received so far? He's been here for what, 2 days?
2 days.
And you've taken him to Cattleman's Cafe and...
Yes, we had a big night at Cattleman's. He arrived Tuesday. He got here just about noon, so we had a little bit of time to rest, get him checked into the hotel. Took him down, before we got to Cattleman's, I took him down to where the old ballpark was. Now, this is a Field of Dreams story that just culminated in my mind. I can't tell you why it did, but I had a couple of old ball gloves that I collected from the 50s but from the 50s era. You can edit out my little bad part. I collected a couple of old ball gloves from the 50s era. And also I just found this old box that had a new official league baseball. And this was 2 years ago. I bought it for $1 and I set it on my shelf. And so when he was coming to town, I'm thinking, I'm going to get that ball. It's an old ball and it's an old box. Got the old gloves, got the old Reverend. We're going to go down there and we played a little bit of catch and just kind of warming him up for the night. And that was kind of a neat moment because we were as near as we could get to where the old field was, which is, I think we were just right on the outside edge of the first base line, somewhere in that area. And so that was a neat deal. And he thought that was just pretty cool. We had just a good time playing a little bit of catch. So we finished that up and we had the dinner at Cattleman scheduled. And of course, Trammell was there. Trammell's been instrumental in my research because he knows everything and has written a lot of different things about baseball and the history of baseball and part of the history books. I've read his parts that are included in that. So, he's really been instrumental in the things that I read of his to lead me to the Reverend in a sense of it was just there in front of everybody. And I guess I was the one that counted up 60 years and something's got to happen. And so lots of folks have pitched in. Cattleman's invited him for a VIP dinner, and that involved some people from Hertz who have been instrumental in sponsoring some of the things that's happening for the Reverend. That involved some representatives from the Red Hawks who opened their doors to say, yes, this is awesome. This will be great that he throws out a first pitch. They're going to give him his own Red Hawks jersey, cap. He's going to be a part of the team for the night. And so it just was a neat opportunity and a symbolic opportunity to have that dinner because in '52 when he was here, he would not have been able to go in there and sit down with me or sit down with the other gentlemen that were there. And there was one lady from the Red Hawks too, I better say that, Jennifer. So he would not have been able to do that. And so it was sort of a symbolic gesture in a sense of, we want to VIP him pretty good, but also we want to show you that we can sit here and eat with you now. And it just sort of made a nice gesture for him, I think.
Mark, what's the experience been like for you?
It's been kind of magical, I guess. I mean, I guess you got to really love baseball, you got to love history, and you got to love being a humanitarian, I guess, to realize what I've found. I found a great baseball player who made history here in Oklahoma, and to me, a great humanitarian. So, I mean, you mix all of those together, and it's like magical to me, and I was excited to, find him alive and well there in Alabama, visit with him and say, Reverend, we're going to figure out a way to get you up here. And I would like to thank some of the folks that did that, that have helped, Southwest Airlines. I put together a little research, and put together the little story and started emailing people. And it was, Southwest Airlines had a friend that worked there. I said, need to figure out a way to help, get him up here. He gave me a number to call. I sent the email. They read his story, and they're all in love with him now. And they flew him up here as a courtesy flight because they recognized his service to the military, recognize his historical relevance here, and they were just glad to jump in and help. A friend at Hertz, we were talking about it, and this could be something our vice president is interested in. Sure enough, they emailed Don Serap my little package, and he carries the most enthusiasm now, and he was part of that dinner the other night. But really appreciate them and what they've done, and the bonus that the Reverend was talking about that was forgotten at the end. Hertz is going to present him with that bonus this evening at the ballpark. And to me, that's just super cool, and just, kind of that magical moment, I think, that'll be a part of that tonight for the Reverend. So just got lots of folks that have been behind the scenes that have pitched in. Comfort Inn Airport said, hey, he's our guest for as long as he's here at no charge. And it all comes from within the heart of, this is a great human being, and so he deserves whatever that we can do and to bring him back and show him, who we are as a city now, and that's just pretty awesome.
What's your next project?
I